Something for us to ponder for a couple of minutes. He writes, there are many different types of cells in the body with physical, physiological, emotional, intellectual, and spiritual functions. It is known that each cell has a life of its own. Boy, when I read that sentence, each cell has a life of its own, that just blows my mind. How many trillions of cells make up this body? Each cell has a life of its own, and we know we are, scientists tell us that we are evolved from a single cell. And yet when I think of myself, I don't think of myself in the plural. I don't think of myself in the order of trillions of beings. And I think that's what we're coming to see, right? Why am I somehow more important than one cell of my body? Without these cells, these trillions of cells, I wouldn't exist. So paying attention to the fact that we are comprised of trillions of little beings making ourselves up, that's something. Each cell has a life of its own. These cells are the pearls of life. The foundation of life is the cell. In the practice of yoga, every cell is consciously made to absorb a copious supply of fresh blood and life-giving energy, thus satiating the embodied soul. In yoga, in the practice of yoga, every cell is consciously made to absorb. So when we're doing yoga, we're moving our body in such a way to absorb the oxygen in the blood, but also what's called prana, or the life force. We're injecting this life force and nutrients into the cells of our body by moving it in certain ways. And so that's why when we're practicing yoga, we want to move in ways that allow for a sense of spaciousness, of opening in our body. When we find ourselves experiencing pain in yoga, that's probably a sign that our head's getting too involved in the process. And so letting go of our own efforts and just allowing the process of yoga to nourish us without trying to fit our bodies into a set form. So we don't have to copy what somebody else is doing, but what we do need to do is listen to the cells of our body. They're giving us information all the time on what's good for us and what's not good for us. And so we can practice in that way to listen. You know, the sensations in our body are the cells communicating to us. They're telling us what they need and what gives life. And they would know more than any of us because they've been around since the very beginning of life on this planet. They've been around. So they know what it takes to survive and to thrive. And so we need to pay attention to what's going on in those cells as we're moving, the cells of the muscles, the cells of the tissues, the cells that are in between the joints and that comprise the joints. All of these cells, they have an influence not only on on the physical level, but also the emotional level, right? Our emotions are affected by our physical body, and we can change our emotions based on the postures that we do here. He says, with serenity, one then experiences the self by the self and rests the self in the lap of the soul. We experience the serenity. Let's take some time here to bring some awareness to the cells of our spine, our back. All those must be millions of cells just right there in our back. This miracle of being upright, to be able to sit upright, is something unique to, to human beings in the way that we can do this. All right, so take that miracle in, the miracle of being upright. And just these small, small motions of our head make a world of difference. You can slowly adjust your chin up and down and see if you can find where the prana moves. We could feel prana moving through our body sometimes. Our hair stands on end, and we know that prana is moving to places where it hasn't been, that life force. Bringing our ears, shoulders, and hips in alignment as we sit here, having the ears in alignment with the shoulders, in alignment with the hips. All three of those places, those points, like a straight line from the hips straight up. Little adjustment to the chin here can make a world of difference. Notice your breathing. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out. Continuing to follow your breath. Breathing in and becoming aware of your whole body. And breathing out and calming your body down. Becoming aware of your body and all those trillions of cells there. And now here's where our intellect comes into play. We practice calming our body down, like self-regulation. We practice self-regulation. We intentionally ask ourselves we're in dialogue with ourselves, asking them to come down off of any anxiety we may be experiencing from today or the days past or the weeks or the months. This is a very powerful tool. And it means we need to be in communication with our body, calming it down on purpose, resting it. And it's through the resting of the muscles that they stretch. So this is an important preliminary step to practicing Hatha Yoga. Relaxing the body, calming it down. And bringing any feelings of joy to our body. We don't have to come to the level of thought right now, but we can bring joy to ourselves just through the practice of smiling. And Thich Nhat Hanh calls smiling the yoga of the mouth. And we just practice yoga of the mouth, lifting the two corners of our mouth upwards. Notice how that changes your emotional state. Doesn't even have to be sincere. Just a practice. And just a practice. Okay, and now let's begin to circle. Let's begin to circle around our hips. Listen to the muscles. Listen to those cells giving you signals. Is there distress anywhere as you turn? Right? Is there distress in your body anywhere? Maybe your knees, maybe your back. And maybe we could respond to that by maybe not moving in a way that causes or creates the stress for our body, for our knees or hips, for our back. All right, so we're starting out maybe kind of slow at first, and going around feeling. And then coming back to center. And then let's rock a little bit forward and backward. See what the range of motion is here before your body starts to signal a stop. Then let's stretch our legs out and circle our feet around. Make some circles with our feet. And feeling those, looking at your feet. What a miracle the feet are. They give us the ability to walk. We don't walk on our hands, we walk on our feet, and yet we rarely recognize the gift of our feet. 5 toes. What a gift to have 10 toes, 5 toes on each foot. Right? What a gift to have those toes and feet that are functional. It's really a miracle when we look closely at our feet. So I just want to encourage you to watch your feet, give them some appreciation, some gratitude as they turn around your ankles, right? Getting that fresh prana, fresh blood supply to the ankles, to the feet. Okay. Great. All right. From here, let's make our way onto all fours. Moving into our spine, doing some cat-cow. And here too, we're listening to where there's space created. There might be some tension or sense of closeness with the vertebrae. And as we move through cat-cow, we want to wake up to ways in which we can create more space between the vertebrae in our back. Sometimes those cushions that separate the vertebrae become compacted. And yoga is one way to stretch them out a little bit, makes them create space. I remember I was having back trouble several years ago, and a chiropractor pressed down on the top of my head, and I felt this sharp shooting pain through the middle of my back, right up my spine. And he said, your vertebrae are compacted. You have a degenerating vertebrae. And I thought, geez, he's calling my vertebrae degenerate. I have to admit, feeling somewhat offended at the time. It's like an insult to my body. But I realized I have to take better care of my back, thanks to that chiropractor. And I haven't had that issue since I've been practicing yoga more assiduously. Right? So we do yoga as a way to correct parts of our body that might be out of alignment or lacking space. Okay, let's lift our knees up. Lift our knees off the ground, keeping our palms flat, softening the muscles behind our head. Creating space in our shoulders. If you like, you can walk gently, walking your heels in place. Right, walking your one heel, then the other heel. Maybe shaking the head a little bit.
You could, if you like, you could try straightening your knees, see what kind of impact that has on your low back. Some people like to stay with knees bent, especially if they have a really tight back. You can do that. And let's then bring our hands to our feet, walking our hands close to our feet. Just pausing here in a forward fold, passive through the back and the arms. And let's begin to slowly roll up. You have pain in your back. Just take your time here. So when we do this, we can sometimes feel the pulling on the muscles in our back. Feel the muscles kind of pulling, the arms and the head pull on the middle and upper back, right? As we're in this forward fold, my arms and my head just hanging there passive. And as I roll up, I can pause in different places where I feel contraction and just be there for a little while. See if anything changes, if anything opens. Sometimes things change and sometimes not. Let's bring the hands up overhead, take hold of one wrist and draw it to the side. Right, feel that we're opening up one side of our body and contracting the other side. Right? So when we contract the one side of our body, we're pressing we're causing that influx of prana there. When we release, then the prana has a chance to go in more deeply. Let's switch the elbow, switch the wrist and go the other way. All right, just breathing into that side now. And back to center. Release the hands, interlace behind the back. And now we're compressing the shoulder blades by lifting the arms up. We're compressing the shoulder blades even more. And just kind of sticking our sternum, like pressing our sternum forward. So allowing the front of the ribs to open as we lift our hands behind us. You can also experiment with your chin. Breathe here. Now the oxygen level is going, the oxygen in our lungs is getting to go deeper when we breathe in, when the lungs are expanded in this way. We're inviting more oxygen into the cells of our body, oxygenating it. All right, and then release. Let's bring the hands together in front of the heart. Bringing the hands together. Check out your posture. Notice the bottoms of your feet. Feet allowing us to stand upright, are in good health. We got to be grateful when we don't have pain in our legs and our feet. And this is an opportunity to notice that. No pain in the feet or legs. Okay. Let's try reaching our arms up overhead. A little back bend. Just beneath the shoulder blades. You could look up. Followed by a forward fold. With this forward fold, just bending the knees a little bit. Bringing our hands to our our shins. See if you can create a little space here in your back, especially your mid back. Take a few breaths. And then maybe straightening your knees. You can have your knees straight and lengthen out your back. Feel that opening in the backs of the legs. Then if you like, bend the knees again. And bending the knees once more. Bringing the hands all the way down to the mat and then stepping your right foot back. Right, just feel that. Feel that. Stepping your right foot back. You could have your knee on the mat or not. Either way, we want to feel the hips. You can rock here a little bit. Okay, and then stepping your right foot forward, bringing your hands up to your shins, lengthening out your back, straightening your knees maybe, and then folding your head in towards your knees. Then let's continue up. Reach the arms up overhead, back behind you, opening up your shoulders. And drawing the hands together in front of the heart. All right. Trying that again. Reach the arms up overhead. Maybe looking up. And then let's fold forward. Bringing the hands down towards the shins, folding the head in, tucking the chin in towards the sternum, folding the head towards the knees, lifting the head once again halfway, straightening the knees out. Take a few breaths here. And bending the knees again. Bring the hands all the way down to the mat. Keeping the head lifted part way. And then stepping the left foot back this time. Stepping the left foot back. Rocking a little bit here. And now stepping the right foot back for downward dog. Opening the backs of the legs up, straightening the knees possibly. And then stepping the left foot forward. Oh, I'm sorry. Stepping the right foot forward. And pressing the left palm down, and the right hand comes up for a little twist here. Right, just twisting the back to the left, to the right, twisting the back to the right. Notice that we're just squeezing, twisting the spine like it's an old rag, twisting out all of the impurities into the bloodstream so that it can get evacuated. Okay, bring the right hand down, and let's come back for downward dog. Stretching again the backs of the legs, especially the calves. Let's step the left foot forward. Same thing on this side. Plant the right hand. Reach the left hand up. The knee could be on the mat or off, either way. Just turning your body to the left side. Really pressing your palm down into the mat. Internally rotating your right shoulder. That helps protect the wrist, the elbow. See how that feels. We're nourishing our body here. Think about nourishing the cells, those trillions of cells you have inside of you. Okay, let's bring the left hand back down, step the left foot back, come into plank. Lower the hips just a little bit for plank. Engage your core. Hold here. Strong in your shoulders, strong in your core, strong through your thighs. Just hold. Make this easy for yourself, but also think about that life force coursing through your body and coursing through each cell of your body. We want to nourish ourselves, nourish our bodies. When we nourish our bodies, our emotional level changes, we self-regulate, and spiritually we connect with our higher source, our power. All right, let's drop the knees down, bend the elbows, lift the tailbone. Let's bring the elbows down to the mat for puppy. We're just keeping the tailbone lifted and kind of drawing the tailbone back and keeping it lifted simultaneously. Feel a little opening in the mid or lower back. And then coming forward, lowering onto the abdomen. Bring the hands right under the shoulders, elbows close in, and lift the head, shoulders up. Keep the feet together. Let the hands and the arms be passive here. Feel the muscles in the back at work. As you lift up, if you want, you can begin to press into your hands, maybe into an upward dog if you want. Be careful of your low back. All right, and then let's come back to downward dog here. Okay, and stepping the right foot forward, drop the back heel, make your way back up to standing. Bend the right knee and reach the arms over the legs. All right. Just a nice bend in that right knee, looking over your right shoulder. Breathe. And then reaching forward, bend the elbow, reach the left arm over the head, stretch the left side. You could look up past your hands or down at the floor. And then go ahead and circle that left hand back down to the mat, right hand to the mat, right foot comes back, downward dog. And then stepping the left foot forward, drop the back heel. Let's bring the arms up, lift the head, the shoulders, the back up. Work with your body. Arms come over your legs. You can try flipping your palms up. See if that makes a difference for you. Notice the quality of your breathing here.
Taking in more air if you need it. And let's bring that left elbow down, right arm over the head. Nice stretch to the right side of the body. Draw the right toes forward, the right heel back, maybe a deeper bend in your left knee. And then bring that right hand down all the way. Let's step back for downward dog. See if you can create space in the shoulders for this. Pressing the head down, straightening the knees, heels coming down. Stepping the left foot forward to the front of the mat. Release the hands, lift the head and back. Let's reach the arms up towards the ceiling. Work with your body. Your body is teaching you at every moment. Here we have a chance to get some blood flow, get some prana to our right hip by drawing our tailbone down. We're also getting the heart rate up a little bit. Blood has to work a little harder to get to the hands. The heart has to pump a little stronger here to get the heat up. Okay, let's now bring the arms down, engage the muscles of your back and of your front leg. To do this with grace, step the left foot back, downward dog. Where does your body need that nourishment? Right? Bring your attention inwards to notice. Where's that nourishment needed now? Let's step the right foot forward. Drop the back heel. Engage strong through that right leg as you lift up. Push into the heel. Reach the arms overhead. Nourish the body. Make sure the hands are not too stiff. You can kind of wiggle them a little bit. All right, let's bring the hands back down with grace. Plant the hands on either side of that front foot. Step the right foot back. Downward dog. Okay, let's walk the feet towards the hands. Have a seat. Sit back and draw the soles of the feet together, walking the hands towards the low back. Your fingers can be pointed behind you or turn them around and point them forwards in front of you. All right, so you have your fingers, your hands flat on the mat, pointing backwards. Or you can have them pointing forwards. See what helps you to get your back upright, that gets Really helps you to feel the opening in your hips. Legs are really passive here, although you might want to lift your knees a little bit just to maybe increase a little space there. And then we're just going to continue to walk from here. We're just going to continue to walk our hands forward, coming over the legs, walking them forward, and maybe even drawing our head down to the mat. Okay, and go ahead and sit back up, straighten out both legs. Let's bring up the left knee. Step it over the right leg. Wrap the right arm around the left knee. Left hand comes behind the back and twist to the left. Imagining the spine like a wet rag. Squeeze it out. Squeeze out all the impurities. They go into the bloodstream and then out of the body through the skin or through the breath, through excrement, purifying the body. Another option here is to take the elbow, bend it, and bring it to the outside. Bring the outside of the elbow to the outside of the knee. The twist is not coming so much from the low back, but from the middle and upper backs. That's where there's more flexibility in the spine, not so much in the lumbar region. Okay, and release. Stretch the left leg forward. Raise the right knee, step the right foot over the left. Let's try the other side. Turn. You're not going to get a lot of turn out of the low back. It's just the way that it works. But the upper back, the middle back, that's where we want to emphasize the turning. And maybe the elbow coming to the outside of the knee. Draw the navel in. And back to center. Stretch out both legs. Bring the left foot in to the right leg. And let's bring the whole of the torso, the whole of the trunk over the extended leg. Rest your hand on top of your toes if they reach, or at your ankle or calf. The main thing is that your elbows are bent and a passive kind of bent. So we're really not engaging our upper back or shoulders or arms here as we fold over our extended leg. Stay here for about 30 seconds. Allow your chin to tuck. Okay, and then slowly lifting our head. Let's switch to the other side. Okay. And then making our way onto our back. Here's where the nourishment of the body really comes in, allowing our body to rest now. So take some time to find a comfortable position in which to lay. And I want to encourage you here to stiffen up your entire body on purpose. So the way we do that is by taking a deep breath in and holding it in. Ready? Go ahead. Deep breath in. Hold it. Squeeze your legs and arms. Lift up your head, arms, and legs together. Squeeze everything. And release. Exhale. And that stimulates what's called the relaxation response. Feel the waves of relaxation and see if you can ride them deeply. Ride the waves of relaxation deeper into your body, like a surfer. Ride the waves of relaxation inward. We rest the self in the self, an embodied soul. Bringing an awareness to the mental factor called letting go. We let go of identification with our physical body. And now we begin to come back to our body. This is our body where the physical and the spiritual worlds meet, right here in this body. Physical, the material and the spiritual worlds come together in this skin. So let's take a little bit more breath. Inspire and expire. If that breath is an evidence of the coming together of spiritual and material, I don't know what is. Inspiration and expiration. Feel the body fill up with fresh oxygen as you inhale, going all through your limbs. The body softening as you exhale. Like a balloon, inflating and deflating. Let's begin to wiggle our toes and fingers. Roll our legs and arms a bit. And raising our knees with our feet on the ground, rocking back a little bit, left and right. Feel your back. And let's roll to one side, make our way up to seating. Crossing at our ankles. Finding our breath, breathing in and out. Calming the body down. And bringing the practice of smiling into our meditation, final closing meditation. Calming the body, noticing the breath, smiling. Bringing gratitude. Gratitude for the eyes to see the miracle of sight. All those cells in our eyes working on our behalf, and we rarely recognize that it's not us seeing. It's not thanks to anything we do. Sight is a gift.